We ran into a problem yesterday. I'll quick set up the story. So over there's the old truck with a lift in the air. And yesterday we found ourselves with the new truck with a lift in the air. I have the rare privilege of having my business is right next door to a mechanic shop. That's wonderful. But I also have a neighbor, Eric Thompson, who helps me out from time to time and try to keep him, you know, keep a little cash flowing in his pocket while he's retired here. Anyway, we figured out, Eric figured out, I didn't figure out, but that we can at least get this thing back in position. We took the hydraulic motor off, and he said if we have a 1-inch piece of metal, so he's turning that crane by hand. That's just how strong he is. Oh, anyway, so what we found out with this truck, the old one, the lift was continuous turn. And so I checked on this one here, is a continuous turn. The guy went out, he spun it around once. I bought this out of Chicago. He spun it around once, put it back in the cradle. When we picked it up the other day, we picked it up and went to the right, and all of a sudden we had trouble. And not knowing enough, we continued bringing it so we were going clockwise. Well, I finally found the manual online and looked up, and it's 370-degree rotation. So we went past that by quite a ways, which means now we have this hydraulic mess all over the ground, and we've got a hose. You said there's a hose blue, right?
Yep.
And but we were able to, we made 1.5 rotations? 2 rotations.
Yeah, basically 1.5.
1.5 rotations back.
Now we got the hoses unwound so we can see which one is which under there and
Yep.
fix the leaking hose.
So we're going to fix the leaking hose, get ourselves back going again. I'm not mechanical, as you know. Anybody that's watched the channel realizes that there's a lot I am clueless about. So to me, it's a lot of despair when you run into this kind of stuff, because I can't see the end of it. And I'm thinking, geez, is this going to take a week, 10 days? What's it going to take to do it, you know? And fortunately, when you got somebody that's mechanical and they crawl under there and they start seeing things, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful skill, a wonderful gift, actually. And I don't possess it. I can do just enough to get me in deep trouble. All right, a little update on the truck crane situation. So we're looking at underneath, hoses were twisted. Got it to spin back around where it's supposed to be. There was a hose, the end that was loose. And once he got that stuff tightened back up, we fired it up and to see if that was okay. That was okay, but the hose was damaged. So now he's got to get the hose off, and we'll have to go get a hose repaired. Here's the problem. It's a hose that
end's damaged.
That just the end is damaged. What's the chances that they'll cut it and put a new end on?
That's been twisted up enough. You might
it isn't worth it. Okay. All right. So we took care of the hose, and
mechanical problems are fixed.
the mechanical problems are taken care of.
You know what? We ought to look at that parts page, and we should be able to see what the switch is. What's missing there for that switch? See if it'll go to the right.
So what we're working on this morning is we have no left operation. You know, yesterday or Saturday we got everything else fixed. So now we're just trying to troubleshoot that. That's what we're working on now, is electronics. Okay, I have no right turn now either.
Yeah, everything's unhooked.
Okay.
So I'm going to take these off, and we'll take them inside and do a continuity test through it to see if the switch works.
Yep. Whatever that is.
That's making sure electricity flows through.
All right, we're gonna head inside and do a continuity test. That's foreign language to me. And all the techies said, oh, good grief.
Okay, that one works. I'll do the same on the other one. Let it out. Okay. Seems to be working.
That's right swing right there. Left swing.
Not getting a good read.
What did we do?
Do it a few more times.
So now it's working, but we don't know why.
No, here's the problem. I'll try and come back. Trying.
I can't go right, I can go left. There. So it's in.
I'm actuating the switches. So right now, which way can you go?
I'm trying to go left, it won't.
Go the other way.
Right side, right it is going.
Okay. Now, try it again. Now it should be the opposite.
Left, not right.
Okay. I'm thinking as we were playing with these switches, making them work, we made something make contact in there that hasn't been working. Simple things are awful hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, well that's good wisdom. If now we've made it make contact.
So now, I would recommend that we get the rest of the safety switch and make it turn off so you don't swing too far.
And should we just replace those at the same time? Obviously if it...
Yeah, yes, that would be the best thing.
Okay.
Or else run it until it messes up again, then play with them and get it going. But you don't want to play with it because you want to use it.
I don't want to play with them. I like things that work the way they're supposed to, like as if it was new.
All right.
Well, that's a little bit like my friend Benny Rogie came years ago. I was having trouble, couldn't afford anybody to fix my wash machine. I didn't have a clue, still wouldn't have a clue. Benny came, looked it over, wiggled this, wiggled that, and he said, yeah, I don't know. He said, I have no idea. Let's try it. It worked after that. I was like, you're like magic.
Yeah.
But must have been, who knows, something that was loose and...
Or, just a little bit of corrosion inside of these couplers to make things not work sometimes too. And it's real common in automotive, and they'll be all green and furry,
Yeah, yeah.
That's obvious.
So, with those untouched, it should work left and right just fine.
Yep.
How did you know that that's where you should start looking?
Because when you flip that, power goes to, remember those two solenoids up there? I switched the wires on and made it work.
Yes.
All right, so there's two circuits coming into each of those. One circuit flows through this one, and one flows through this. In order for this to stop it when it comes around, the pin would depress one of them and break it. And then it goes the other way, the pin would depress the other one and break it.
Yeah.
So, but what seemed odd to me is like, why do they have one taped down? That should make no difference. And so I thought, well, maybe the one that's telling you to go left or the side that wasn't working was the one they'd zip tied down, and who knows why somebody did it,
But it wasn't. It was.
Yeah.
It was. So yeah, that's still a curiosity as to. Yeah. Well, that is what it is.
And I almost think it showed a cover that would go over that.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are solid.
Yeah.
So they
appear to be sealed, but road salt gets everywhere.
Yeah. Well.
Maybe not in California.
Not. Hopefully not in Southern California.
Now, if they were along the seacoast.
I don't even want to think about that much.
He said, down here you see a lot of older cars that are rusting out around the windshield.
Right.
Sea salt mist.
My dad used to talk about that when he worked. They lived down there for a time. So we have it fixed. we at least we know what was going on. Something in those two switches was corroded or whatever, wasn't making proper contact. It is a moving part, so that, you know, anytime you have a moving part, there's always chance for issues. So that takes care of that for now. Cranes are nothing to play with, and they should be for safety's sake. You should know what you're doing, and I'm going to spend some time looking over the manual a little more, and also do some YouTubing just on crane safety. I mean, I've operated a crane for many years and been successful in staying safe. And not that we haven't had, we did have two major mishaps that could have went south really bad, but they didn't. And this crane is bigger, faster. Oh, you know what? We want to slow down the operating. Can we reach it without taking the cover off?
Maybe. It's on the bottom.
All right. And is that just a regular screwdriver?
It's just a regular screwdriver, but I could turn it with my fingers.
All right, I'll turn the truck back on. That's pretty fast. Okay, now we're too far, because now it won't go. That's good right about there. And that, so really, just so I can...
Right about here, and there's a screw on the end of it. It had vice grips on it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just a matter of turning that right and left.
And you know what? You would think screwing it in would slow it down.
Yeah.
Screwing it in speeds it up. Screwing it out.
So screwing it in is allowing more flow.
Apparently, it's opening the valve back open.
Yep. All right, that problem fixed.